Welcome to Education in the Star Wars Universe with your host, Ian Birch. I will be talking mainly about episodes 4, 5, and 6. I will be addressing the role of the teacher as played by Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Yoda, touching briefly on each. Please note, I'll be avoiding some of the plot stuff because I'm hoping that you know it. The learner in the Star Wars universe is someone who is young, ideally. You might remember Yoda says to Ben Kenobi that Luke cannot be taught because he is too old. This reminds me a little bit of Matthew Littman, who believed that young people were the ideally suited to learn philosophy. When you get old, you get too calcified. There is a social reconstructionist bent among students in this nice universe. They are to be educated as well as rebellious. Here are the X-Wing fighters going to blow up the Death Star. There's also a large existentialist bent here in the Star Wars universe. Existentialism talks about human free will and choice, and Darth Vader certainly chose the dark side, didn't he? And he chose the Empire. Luke was free to choose the rebellion and made much different choices than did Darth Vader. It's fun to think of them both as Waldorf students of Obi-Wan Kenobi. The teacher here in beautiful Star Wars land is a little bit of a mix of Paulo Freire and Plato. There's all the revolutionary stuff, there's the Death Star being blown up, but then there's enough of Plato to talk about the higher things. Matthew Littman comes in as well, because Matthew Littman talks about content mastery, about somebody being so completely immersed in their field that they could do it, they could do any kind of learning much like a language learner did. So someone is fluent at math. Here I think Luke is fluent with the lightsaber because he's able to demonstrate that he can use the lightsaber while having his eyes closed. The teachers in the Star Wars universe, particularly Obi-Wan Kenobi, are utterly committed. Look at this. He's come back from the dead to teach. That is a man who really, really likes his job. Like Socrates says, a teacher needs to know his own limits, and Ben certainly did. After he died, he had to send Luke to Yoda, both because he was dead and because Yoda was a more experienced, better teacher and could take Luke on. What should be taught here in the Star Wars universe? We mentioned Plato, and I think that there is a connection between the Force in the Star Wars universe and philosophy as Plato understands it, it being intellection or reason, the highest form of knowledge. Something to which all other knowledges are building. I think that's pretty clear here in this universe, and there's Luke using the Force under Yoda's tutelage. Self-knowledge is also vital to a successful student here in the Star Wars universe. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. So the student needs to know when he or she is afeared or angry. The Force, I think in this case, might be considered a spiritual matter, which makes me think of Parker Palmer a little bit, that we're not just teaching things like math and science, we're teaching love and citizenship and whatnot. Also, it's a good liberal arts curriculum here in Star Wars land because physical fitness is at a premium. Here are Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi duking it out in very fine form. What method do these folks use? Yoda likes a Socratic approach. When Luke says, I will try to lift the X-Wing out of the swamp at Dagobah, Yoda replies, you will do or do not. There is no try. He clarifies Luke's thinking by provocative comments. And then he models. He shows that, in fact, it's possible that size matters not, and that a person with enough of Force acumen can actually lift us out of the swamp. Lastly, all these Jedi teachers believe that we are in a classroom without walls. Luke receives his instruction on an ice planet, in a swamp, on the Millennium Falcon, just about anywhere you can think teaching is happening. And that is what I know about education in the Star Wars universe. Thank you for your time.